Let's take a look at how to create a mini golf course or a putt-putt golf course in Microworlds. Select File, New Project. You can size this any way that you want, but you'll need to begin by creating your actual course. So select the Painting and Clip Art palette, Painting Tools, find a medium-small tooltip, any shade you want for the putting green, I'll select green, and this filled-in circle tool. Move into the workspace, click, hold, and drag. Do this 2 or 3 times to create sort of a blob that's reminiscent of a mini golf putting green. Next, you'll need to switch to black, create the golf hole. That's where the ball is going to drop. And next, we need to create some sort of a trap, like a water trap or a sand trap. I'll create a water trap, switching to blue and drawing out a circle. Now, if you decide that you want to slightly change a color, like maybe you want your putting green a little darker, you can switch a color, switch to the fill tool, change that color a little bit. And also using the fill tool, you can then switch to some other color and fill the outside area. And that's it. That's all we need to do in order to create the course itself. Now, we need to work on creating the ball. So I'm going to grab the Painting and Clip Art palette, slide it over here, and switch from the Procedures pane to the Shapes pane. All we need to do is work with one of these shape spots to create a shape that will go onto our turtle and take on the role of being a golf ball. So in the Painting and Clip Art palette, I'll select the singles, that's the little flower. I'll scroll down a little bit. I'll find this sort of icky looking soccer ball. I'm going to drag it over to one of the shape spots. And at this point I can close the Painting and Clip Art palette. I'll double click on that spot and I'm just going to switch to a gray shade and use the fill tool and fill in any of these black areas to make this look a little bit more like a golf ball instead of a soccer ball. Now I'll create a turtle. Click on the turtle hatching tool, move into the workspace and click. And then I'll select that ball and I don't need to hold. I'll just move into the workspace. When my pointer turns into a hand, I'll click exactly on the back of the turtle and there's my ball. Okay. Now notice, if you make a mistake, for instance, if you click on this ball and then you just click on the workspace and you get those little sizing tools, a lot of students seem to think that that is the ball. That's just a ball shape. That's not the ball. Okay. The way you can tell is if you click with the eyeball onto it, it goes back and opens up the shape. Whereas if you click with the eyeball on the actual ball, the turtle wearing the ball, you get a backpack open. All right. We'll use that backpack in just a second. So I want to get rid of this shape over here. So all I need to do is Control, click on it, and select Remove, because that was just a picture of a ball, not the ball. So now I have the backpack for the real ball open. And I want to position the ball kind of at the start, where I believe I'm going to be beginning the game. And you'll notice that I see 2 coordinates, an X coordinate and a Y coordinate. We're going to need those in just a moment, so keep track of those, okay? Now what I need to do is create a slider in order to indicate the angle at which the ball is pointing. So I move up to the top, select the Create a Slider tool from the menu bar, move into the workspace, and click. The slider is going to have a name of Angle, not Angel, Angle, A-N-G-L-E. Minimum value is 0, maximum value is 359. And the starting value, which just simply shows on the slider, I'll make 0. You can select to make it vertical or not. That's your choice. And click OK. Now there is my angle slider. Okay, so when I adjust the slider, that will change the direction in which the ball is pointing. Okay. Now, you'll notice that I can start at 0. That's going to be pointing straight up or north. I can move through to 90. It's hard to hit it exactly, but at 90 the ball will be facing or pointing east. I can move through and point at 180, at which point the ball will be facing down or south. At 270, close to it, the ball will be facing west, this direction. and then all the way up at 359, 360, the ball's pointing back up again. Now you'll notice that the heading over in the backpack did not change, and that is because we haven't applied that angular heading. We're just setting it on the slider, but we're going to have to tell the ball to point to that angle. Okay, how are we going to do that? Well, we need to create some buttons so that we can point the ball and move it. So go to the Create a Button tool in the menu bar, the finger pressing the button, move into the workspace, click anywhere. This label will be hit. The instruction will be, we must talk only to the turtle that is the ball. So his name is T1. You can see that over here, backpack for T1. So we'll say T1, comma, set your heading, Seth, to the angle on the slider. So set heading, space, angle, space, forward, some large distance, 150, 200, that's up to you. Leave it set to once and say OK. If you need to edit that button once you've created it, click on the eyeball, open it back up. There it is. Okay. Let's move that hit button right here next to the angle slider. Currently, I have my angle slider set to 0. If I click hit, then that ball moves 150 in the 0 direction, so it actually moves off the green. What if I make this closer to 90 so that it's pointing east? Now if I hit, it moves onto the green. Okay. So as with any golf game, I need to have something where it's going to go a little bit shorter distance. So let's say putt. Again, give the instruction T1, set your heading to the angle. This time move forward only, I don't know, 20. Okay. Move that putt button over here. Click it. Much shorter distance. And now I need one more button for tap. KP, speak only to T1, T1, comma, Seth, space angle, space forward, something really small, like 5. Here we go. And tap just moves a teeny tiny little bit. That's for when I, for instance, get very close to the hole and I need to be able to tap it right in. Okay. Now nothing's happening when I get the ball into the hole because I've got to set up some additional information. So again, keeping that backpack open because I'm going to need those coordinates in a second. Let's switch on the right-hand side of the screen to the Procedures tab. I'm going to make my text a little larger so that you can see things more clearly. You don't need to do so, however. So I need to state how it is that we're going to win this game. So to win, let's see. I want to make sure that the ball has gotten into the hole. When it goes into the hole, it's going to need to hide. So HT for hide turtle. I think I'd like to make an announcement, ANNOUNCE, space, square bracket. You win, exclamation point, close the square bracket. I can give it a brief wait, something like wait 5 or so, maybe even less. Then I want to reposition the turtle. So I need to tell it set position, SETPOS, space, square bracket, my x coordinate, -156, space, my y coordinate, -66, because I want to reset the ball back to the start of the hole, and then close up the square bracket. Then I want to show the turtle again, and then end. All right, let's see. At this point, I can close that backpack. Notice, though, that if I put the ball in the hole, nothing happens. I have not told the hole that it needs to execute the win procedure. But it's actually going to be assigned to this color. So let's say if I Control-click on the black, select Edit Black, I get a little instructions for black dialog box, and I'll tell it that when a turtle touches this hole, the only turtle that's going to be happening with is the golf ball, execute win. So we don't say to win here, we just say win. Leave it at once and say OK. Now watch. You win, and then the ball has disappeared, reset to the starting point, and reappeared. Okay? We're almost done. The next thing is simply to indicate that if we've fallen into the water trap, that we have sunk and we need to reset to the beginning. So let's call this to water trap. To water trap. What needs to happen? Well, really, it's all of this. So I can actually select this, say copy, paste, except the announcement's not going to be you win. It's you fell in the water. Okay. And again, why isn't that happening? Well, because I have to tell the blue to execute that procedure. So control click, edit cyan. When the turtle touches it, execute water trap. Again, notice that this has to be one word. You need not to use spaces in your commands and your procedures because Microworlds will only read up to the space. So water trap, once, okay. You fell in the water, and there it reappears at the start. So that's it. That's all it takes in order to build your game. Make sure that once you have created the game, you save it. So save project as Putt-Putt Golf or any other name. You can save it onto your desktop, and then once you do so, you'll want to drag it into your Google Drive. And that's it.